Hi folks, and welcome to our Wednesday, or maybe not Wednesday, Ha and Ta practice. So the word Hatha Yoga is made up of Ha and Ta. Sometimes it's sun and moon, but it doesn't literally mean sun and moon. It really means the balance of opposing forces. We can think of it in terms of our practice as balancing effort with ease is probably the best way. So this practice has a balance of both of those elements. We start with about 15 minutes of fairly vigorous salutes and a couple of standing postures. And then we take the time to take some postures where we can stay with them and settle into that sense of ease, of softening or letting go of effort. It's a really lovely way to practice, to experience both sides of the coin. And as with any practice, remember it's important that you do listen to your body and listen to your breath and use them just to gauge what's appropriate for you today, remembering that every day in the body is going to be a little bit different. As always, I'd love to hear any questions or comments that you may have. Just pop them in the comments at the end and I'll be happy to help you out in any way that I can. And of course, if you would like to support me, there's a PayPal link in the description. You can make a donation of your choosing, but if that's not appropriate for any reason, then please just enjoy these practices as my offering to you. So, with that being said, just make your way into child's pose, kneeling and stretching forward. Big toes together, knees perhaps just a little bit apart. Let the hips sink back onto the heels and let the body sink forward between the knees. Remember, with any practice, we're using the tools of asana, of postures, and pranayama, breath, to help steady the mind. So we're trying to maintain an inner focus throughout the practice on what we feel within the body, what we experience and recognize within the mind and heart. Just take one more breath in your child's pose. And after breathing out, tuck the toes under. Add a little stretch for the soles of the feet. And maybe flip the hands, palms up, changing how you feel the shoulder stretch. Keep broadening across the upper back. And lengthen all the way from the hips to the hands. After your next calm out breath, lift up into kneeling plank. Just making sure that the palms are flat, shoulders over the wrists. And just start to bring some spontaneous movement into the body. So don't think about it too much. Maybe you want to move side to side, or you want to move the ribs up and down, or maybe you want to circle, or maybe you just want to take random movement. Try to get your head out of the way. Come back now to a neutral position. And you can stay on the knees if you'd like an easy option, but ideally pick up the knees, maybe 10 centimeters. Keep the elbows unlocked, but the arms looking straight. And make sure the shoulders are moving away from the ears. Take one more smooth breath here. And after you exhale, make your way into downward facing dog. So again, just hold down dog statically for a couple of breaths. As you press your hands down and forward, lift the sit bones up and back. From there, gently bend the left knee and see if you can stretch through the right leg a little bit more. And after breathing out one more time, swap the legs the other way. So try to lift through the left sit bone and press back through the left calf and heel.
Keep the shoulders relaxed. And after breathing out one more time, bring the right foot back into a symmetrical down dog. And just hold there for a couple of breaths, maybe some random movement for the spine. Maybe let the head drop through a little bit further. Just do what feels right for your body. Take one more smooth breath here. And after breathing out, raise the heels and look forward. And bring your feet lightly to the hands, keeping them hip width apart. Then let the body gently hang forward. Hold opposite elbows. And let the weight of the arms and the head gently traction the spine. And maybe give the body a little sway side to side. So just a last breath or two here, checking in with where your body's at right now. And after you breathe out, press your hips forward, stand up. Reach up to the fingers as you breathe in, and then interlacing fingers, press up through the palms and breathe out. Pull the elbows back, take another breath, maybe lift the chest. And lower your hands and bring your feet together at the front of your mat, taking a couple of salutes. With the hands on the thighs, gently breathe out all the way. Then with backs of the hands together, reach up and inhale. Fold forward, hands maybe just to the shins or to the mat, and breathe out. Now step the left foot back, stand in the lunge and breathe in. And sink down into the hips as you breathe out. Keep the back leg strong and straight. Take another breath in, reach high to the hands. Then bring the hands to the mat and step back into downward facing dog. Stay there and rest, or move forward to plank and inhale. And lower smoothly to the knees and take a cat stretch, or to the stomach and breathe out. Lift the chest and hands, or take your version of up dog. And holding there, gently breathe out. Take another smooth breath to the chest. And then press back into down dog and gently breathe out. Reach your right leg high, stretch up through the toes and breathe in. And step your right foot lightly forward to a lunge. Stand in your lunge. Reach the arms up as you inhale. And sink down into the hips. Press out through the back heel. Take another breath in. See if you can lengthen to fingertips. And bring the hands to the mat. Step the left foot forward and exhale. Now stepping the right foot back, stand in the lunge and breathe in. Sink down into the hips as you breathe out. Take another breath in, lengthen out through the fingertips. And then hands to the mat, step back to downward facing dog. Stay and rest, or move forward to plank as you breathe in. And with control, lower to the stomach or just to the knees. Then lift the chest and hands and take a breath in. Stay there, or take a stronger version of upward facing dog. One more calm breath in here. And then press back into down dog and breathe out. Now reach your left leg high, stretch out through the toes as you inhale. And step the left foot lightly forward into the lunge and breathe out. Stand up in your lunge, lengthen to the fingertips as you inhale. And press into the back heel as you drop down deeper and breathe out. Take another breath, maybe arch the spine a little further. And then bring the hands to the mat, step the right foot forward and breathe out. With the backs of the hands together, stand all the way up. Reach to the fingers and inhale. And again, fold forward, hands to shins or mat, and breathe out. Arch the spine, take a breath in. Step the left foot back to the lunge and exhale. Stand in your lunge. Stretch up to the fingers And as you breathe out, pull the elbows wide and sink into the hips. Then reach up through the fingertips, take another breath in. Bring your hands to the mat and gently stretch over the right leg as you exhale. Then bend the right knee, calmly breathe in. And picking up the foot, step it back to downward facing dog. Stay and rest or move forward to plank and inhale. And with control, lower down knees or stomach and breathe out. Take your version of up dog as you inhale. And stay there or go a little deeper as you exhale. Take one more calm breath into the chest. And then press back into down dog and gently breathe out. Again, reach the right leg high, stretch out through the toes as you breathe in. And step the right foot lightly forward to the lunge and breathe out. Stand in your lunge. Stretch up through the hands as you inhale. And sink into the hips as you breathe out. Pull the elbows back. Now take the arms up high, smoothly breathing. And bring hands to the mat. Step the left foot forward and exhale. Lift the collarbones, breathing. And step the right foot lightly back. Stand in your lunge, lengthen through to the hands. Then pull the elbows wide, making cactus arms stretch across the chest. Reach the arms up high, take a smooth breath in, maybe arching a little further. And then take your hands to the mat and fold over the left leg as you breathe out. Bend the left knee, take a breath in. And picking up the foot, step it lightly back to downward facing dog. Stay and rest or move forward to plank as you breathe in. And with control, lower down to the stomach. Lift the chest and hands or take a different up dog as you breathe in. Stay there or go a little further as you exhale. Take one more calm breath into the chest. And then press back into down dog and breathe out there. Now take the left leg high, stretch out through the toe tip. And step the left foot silently forward to the lunge. Stand in your lunge. Take the arms high as you inhale. And pull the elbows wide, making cactus arms as you breathe out. Keep the width across the chest as you extend into the fingers. And then hands to the mat, right foot forward and exhale. Press the hips forward, stand up. Reach through to the hands as you breathe in. And keeping the arms raised, bend the knees and gently breathe out. Take another breath in, pull the elbows back, press the knees forwards. And then fold forward over the legs and exhale. Lift the collarbones, take a breath in. And step the left foot lightly back to the lunge. Stand up, reach high to the hands as you inhale. And then either make cactus arms or open the arms back as you exhale, stretching all the way out to the fingertips. Then reach the arms high, take another smooth breath in. Bring the hands to the mat and fold over the right leg as you exhale. Bend the right knee, take a breath in. And picking up the foot, step it back into downward facing dog. Stay and rest or move forward to plank. And lower smoothly down, don't collapse or race. Take your version of up dog, breathing in. And stay there or go a little deeper as you breathe out. Pull the shoulders back, chest forward, last breath here. And then make your way gently back into down dog and exhale. Take the right leg high, stretch out through the toes. And step your right foot silently forward to the lunge. Reach your arms high, take a smooth breath in. And then peel the arms back, stretching across the chest as you breathe out. Now lengthen from the left foot to the hands. Take another breath in. Look up and back if it feels okay. Then bring hands to the mat. Step the left foot forward and breathe out. Again, lift the collarbones, arch the spine and inhale. And step your right foot lightly back to the lunge. Stand in your lunge, reach up to the fingertips. And pull the arms wide, stretching across the collarbones as you breathe out. Then again, reach the arms high, take a breath in, keep the legs strong. Hands to the mat, fold over the left leg and exhale. Now bend the left knee, take a breath in. Picking up the foot, step it lightly back to down face dog. Stay and rest or move forward to plank. And smoothly lower down. Movement of body in time with breath. Take your version of up dog, breathing in, maybe just lift chest and hands. Go further if you'd like as you exhale. Take another breath into the chest, pull the shoulders back. And press smoothly back to down dog and breathe out there. Now raise the left leg high, stretch out through the toe tip. And step the left foot lightly forward to a lunge. Stand in your lunge, reach up to the fingertips. And then peel the arms back as you exhale. And again, reach high to the hands. Take a breath in. Bring the hands to the mat, the right foot forward as you breathe out. Again, bend your knees, come into Utkatasana, reach the arms up high. And this time as you breathe out, turn the upper body to the right. Come back to the center, reach the arms up. And then palms together, turn to the left. And again, come back to the center, arms high. Sink into the hips deeper as you breathe out. Then straightening up, reach to the fingers, lift the collarbones, maybe look back. And then lowering the hands down. If you're doing stomach work, 10 abdominal breaths. Now reach the arms up, take a smooth breath in. Folding forward, hands to shins or mat, breathe out. Lift the collarbones, arch the spine as you inhale. Then bring the hands to the mat and make your way back into downward facing dog. Reach the right leg high, stretch out through the toes. And holding there, press down through the hands and the left heel. Take another smooth breath in. See if you can raise the leg a bit higher. And step your right foot silently forward. See if you can hover the foot for a moment. Stand up in your lunge. Reach through to the fingertips. Holding your left wrist, take the hands to the right as you breathe out. Again, as you breathe in, press out through the left hand. And drop the hips a little bit lower as you exhale. Now bring the body back up, reach to the fingertips. And take the hands to interlace behind the back. As you inhale, gently lean forward. And see if you can raise the left leg into Virabhadrasana 3. So taking bound hands just for shoulder fun. Take one more breath here. Try to reach out through the left toes. And after you exhale, step lightly back, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, spin the back foot down and open to warrior two. Keep the shoulders relaxed here and try and sink down into the hips. Keep a soft gaze over the front middle finger. Take one more breath. And see if you can drop a little bit further. Then cartwheel the arms forward as you breathe in. And picking up the right foot, step it back to downward facing dog. Hold down dog for a breath. Just see if you can soften the neck and shoulders. Now as you breathe in, reach the left leg up and back. And as you exhale, press down through right heel and the hands. With level hips, take another breath in. See if you can raise the left leg a bit higher without bending the knee. And then step the left foot forward. See if you can hover it between the hands for a moment. Then stand up. Reach to the fingertips and breathe in. And holding your right wrist, take your hands to the left. As you breathe in, press out through the right palm. And sink the hips a little bit deeper as you breathe out. Maybe side bend a bit more. Then reach the arms high. Take a breath in. Take your hands back behind you as you exhale, opposite interlace. Lean forwards, breathing in. And then see if you can gracefully raise the right leg into Virabhadrasana 3. Reach out through the back toes, press up through the thigh. Try to keep the hips fairly level. One more breath here. And as you exhale, lightly step the right foot back. Reach the arms high, take a breath in. And then turn the back heel down and open out into warrior two on the second side. Try to keep the body upright, not leaning forwards or backwards. Keep your shoulders down as you extend right out through the fingertips. Take one more breath in here. See if you can bend a little further into the front knee. Then take the arms forwards and breathe in. And make your way back into downward facing dog. Stay and rest or move forward into plank. And then smoothly lower down. Take your version of up dog, breathing in. And stay there or go further as you breathe out. Take another breath into the chest. And pull the shoulders back as you exhale. One more breath in. Lengthen the front of the body. And press back and breathe out in downward facing dog. Now simultaneously lower the elbows to the mat. And I just want you to hold here a forearm down dog for a couple of breaths. Try to press your armpits towards the feet. And try to keep the forearms parallel with each other. Take one more steady breath here. And as you exhale, press back into downward facing dog. And for our first static posture, we're actually going to hold down dog. So it's an interesting little posture as a transition between our ha practice, our moving dynamic practice, and our static practice. Because there's many elements of down dog that feel like a rest. But there's also some effort required. So we're just going to focus on particularly softening, first of all, around the back of the neck. Just see if you can give your head a gentle roll side to side. Maybe there's one side of the neck that really needs a bit of a stretch. Stay there. If not, just keep moving it gently side to side. And from there, I want you to try and relax the outer shoulders so that they move out to the sides a little bit more, and you create a bit more space between the shoulders and the sides of the neck. Try to keep the sense of pressing the armpits towards the toes. And now I want you to focus on lifting up through the sit bones. And just by lifting the sit bones up or tilting them up, you might be able to get a little bit more stretch in the back of the back of the thighs. Don't tense the neck, keep it soft. We're almost done here. Just see if you can keep pressing the heels gently down and relax the calves. Not just above the ankle or the back of the heel, but in the belly of the calf as well. And you might find now you can bring the armpits a bit closer down. Just a last breath or two here. Now lower onto your knees. We might take a little Untitled, seeing as we've been working with the shoulders in down dog. It's sort of like a down dog position in the way it stretches the upper back and shoulders. So keep your hips over your knees. Take the hands forward, elbows about shoulder width apart. And I want you to bring the fingertips together like you're holding a big ball between your hands. Then rest your forehead on the mat. And bending your elbows, see if you can touch the thumbs to the back of the neck. So I just want you to stay here for a little bit. And you'll find there will be somewhere around the armpits, down through the sides of the torso into the triceps, where you can feel the body is resisting a bit, where there's a sense of stretch. So I want you to try and take a pinpoint focus to where you feel there's the most resistance. Usually there's just one or maybe two spots where the sensation is much stronger than anywhere else. And I want you to see if you can relax wherever that place or places are. But ideally, as I said, just one or maybe two spots. You'll notice that the palms or the wrists want to come together. Try and keep that sense of space between the palms. Try to stay with the posture. Stop fighting it. Stop resisting it. And see where the body goes. Use the sensations and the rhythm of your breath to keep bringing the wandering mind back to the present. And just take a last breath or two here. And after your next calm out breath, gently release the hands down. Bring the elbows under the shoulders. Bring the body up. And just sit with the feet flat. So taking a little Virabhadrasana. Usually that one's a bit more intense on the shoulders than what we realise at the time. So once you've sat on the feet for a couple of breaths, I just want you to give your shoulders a little roll in circles backwards. And then a little roll forwards. And then gently cross your ankles. Come into a cross-legged position. And sitting cross-legged with the left leg in front or left leg on top. Just bring your hands in front of the left shin and pause there for a couple of breaths. We're going to be taking a forward bend and a couple of little variations. Just go, as always, at your own pace. Remember, we're trying to work with softness. So we're not forcing the body into our maximum stretch. We're really just going to the point where we start to feel a stretch. Or where it's very, very gentle. Keep the chin to the throat and try to lengthen the back of the neck. And eventually you'll be able to lie the body with the chest on the shins, but that may not be today, and that's fine. I want you to see if you can find a stretch in the outer left hip and the left buttock. Although some of you might feel it on the right side. And whenever possible, make sure you keep your eyes closed here. So closing down our primary external sense, that of sight. You can start to more easily keep your inner focus. Keep softening, keep relaxing. And after your next calm out breath, just take your right hand out to the side at 90 degrees and take your left hand over at about 45 degrees. And you might be able to just twist the upper body a little bit to the right so that your shoulders remain, or let's say shoulders and upper back remain parallel to the mat. And if you're comfortable here, you can rest the chest on the right thigh and the head on the right knee or left foot. And now we're trying to focus on relaxing more around the left shoulder. So I had a bit of fun in down dog. So now we're trying to gently relax the particularly outer left shoulder. As you feel the body soften, just walk your left fingers a little bit further away from you. Remember to keep your breath steady through the nose. We're always trying to just gently lengthen, particularly the out breaths. Just a last breath or two here. Keep walking the left hand away if it's comfortable. Keep bringing the body closer to the right knee. And after your next calm out breath, bring the body back to the center. And then gently sit all the way back up. And I want you to take your hands around behind you now. Press into your fingertips, pull your shoulders back, and just start to gently lift the collarbones up. So the shoulders are moving down and back, but collarbones lifting up. And just keep your gaze maybe 1/2 to 1 meter in front of you. So again, here we're trying to find some length in the shoulders, but this time it's the front of the shoulders and across the collarbones, the upper chest. If you can do so, try to direct your breath into the upper chest, just behind the collarbones, and you'll feel the breath actually deepen the posture as well. Again, focus on softening, on relaxing, on letting go. So not finding more effort, but less resistance. Be very mindful of keeping your face relaxed as well. And just exhale one last time here. And after you breathe out, release the hands. And we'll take just a little twist to the right. Actually, let's skip that. We'll come back to that in a minute. Swap the legs. Let's continue with our hip stretches. So taking the same cross-legged position you did on the first side, settle the body, and then just start with your hands just in front of the shins. Take a moment to just check in with how the body's feeling there. And as you feel the resistance dropping out of the back of the body, start to bring the chest forward. So for most of you here, as you move the body forward, you'll feel the resistance primarily in the right glute, the right buttock and the outer right hip. But if you're feeling it on the left side, it's a sign that the left side is much tighter than the right was. If on the other hand, on our first side you felt the stretch primarily in the right, it means the right side is a lot tighter than the left. So these are not things to get upset about. Remember, on a very simplistic level, our asana practice is about getting to know the body in all its subtlety. Keep softening the body further forward. Just a few more breaths in this forward position. And after breathing out one more time here, take your left hand out at shoulder height. Then take your right hand over to the left at about 45 degrees. Just see if you can perhaps twist the body a tiny bit so the shoulders and upper back stay parallel to the floor. And see if you can bring the body down towards the left knee or right foot. And focus on what you feel around the right armpit and shoulder. Find the spot where there's the most resistance. And that's where I want you to take your focus and try to soften each time you breathe out. And of course you can keep walking the right fingers away to deepen the posture, but only do so once you feel the body has relaxed further. Use the sensations and the breath to steady your mind. Try to let all other times and places just remain out of mind. Just be here and now. And after you breathe out one more time, just slowly come back to the forward position. And after a breath there, sit back up. And then once more take your hands around behind you, press down through the fingers, pull the shoulders back, and lift the collarbones forwards and up. Again, keep your gaze down in front of the body. Try to have a sense of bringing the chin down towards the collarbones, but the collarbones up to the chin. So really we're creating Jalandhara Bandha here. Just a last couple of breaths. After your next out breath, release the hands. And then bring your feet flat. Wrap your arms around the shins and rock back into a balance point. Try to keep the collarbones lifting up and the shoulders pulled down. See if you can feel a point of weightlessness. Take one more breath here. And after you breathe out, bring your feet gently back to the mat. And then bring your left leg either straight out in front if you're tight in the hips, or bend the left knee and take the right foot to the outer left knee, whichever option you've chosen. We're going to take Ardha Matsyendrasana 1 as our deep held twist. So try to bring the right leg into the body and start with your left arm around the knee. Before you go too far into your twist, just make sure that your right sit bone is still carrying as much weight as the left one is. And then start to turn a little bit further to the right. And if it feels okay, see if you can take the left arm over to the outside of the right knee and just place your left hand on your left ankle. If you've got the left leg out straight, you can do fingers to the mat. So we're just using the left arm to lock the right leg in place. Keep the right hand just gently pressing down to encourage the spine to lengthen. And gently turn your head to look over the right shoulder. And keep the right ear slightly raised.
Now you should be able to feel a spinal twist here, but you might also feel a stretch in the outer right hip. You might feel a stretch in the inner left hip. Or you might feel something else altogether. But wherever you feel the body is tight, where there's tension or resistance, that's where I want you to focus on relaxing. And if you feel really comfortable here, for the last little bit, thread the left arm under the right thigh and hold right wrist with left hand, ideally. We're just going to hold that bound position just for those who are really comfortable. Otherwise, stay where you were. Take a last calm breath. And after exhaling, unravel from your twist, which might be a little deeper than what you realized. Then just bring the right leg down or right knee down. Rest the hands on top of each other and just sit comfortably upright for a few breaths. So we're using the right leg just to help anchor the left. After breathing out one more time, just lean back and swap to the second side. So do the same thing on both sides of your twist. Maybe the right leg stretched out, but ideally right leg in a cross-legged position. Bring your right arm around the front of the left knee and start to turn your upper body. Again, before you go too far, make sure that your left sit bone is still pressing down. And try to keep a sense of the body fairly upright. So we're not side bending or leaning back, but keeping quite upright. And if you feel comfortable to do so, maybe now take your right arm to the outside of the left knee and see if you can bring the right hand onto the right foot. Now you might feel different things on the two sides. For me, the first side was strongest in the twist. Here it's the outer left hip stretch. Be attentive to what you feel. The two sides of your body are probably not the same. As the body softens, deepen your twist. And if you did on the first side, now for the last couple of breaths, thread your right arm under the left thigh. Take hold of the left wrist with the right hand or whatever you can bind onto. And just see if you can hold that bound twist for the last little bit. Otherwise, staying in the simpler variation is absolutely fine. Exhale one more time here. And after breathing out, gently unravel from your twist. Then just let the left knee drop down and rest with your hands one on the other, and just let the left leg hold the right leg down. Last breath here. And then after you breathe out, just turn to face along your mat. Step your right foot forward into a long lunge. Stretch your lunge out a little bit more than you normally would so that your right heel is comfortably in front of your right knee. And you might like to just shuffle the right foot a little out to the side and maybe turn it out a little bit. To begin with, take both hands down inside the right leg, but try to keep the body fairly upright as you sink down into the left hip. You might like to just gently move the hips a little bit left to right. And when you feel ready, start to take the hands forward and see if you can sink down onto the elbows. Now as you move forward here, you'll find that there's a stretch for the back of the right leg as well as for the front of the left. You can experiment with keeping the body facing straight down towards the floor, but you might find you get a better stretch if you roll the outer left hip down so that you're sort of lying on the outer left thigh. And that'll give you a different sensation in the left hip and also in the right leg. You might like to alternate between those positions, facing forward and facing a little to the right. Just the last couple of breaths here. And after breathing out one more time, just gently press down through the hands. Bring the body more or less upright again for a breath or two. And then lift the hips back. Make your way back into kneeling plank. And then swap over and take the left leg forward into a lunge. So the right knee's down. And again, our lunge is a little bit longer than normal, just so that the left heel is well in front of the knee. Then maybe shuffle the left hip a little out to the side. Turn the toes out so that the foot's in line with the thigh. And then take the hands inside the left leg. And with the body fairly upright, not sure what a bolly is, with the body fairly upright, see if you can just start to sink the hips down a bit lower. Again, the two sides probably don't feel the same. But again, just focus on relaxing where you're feeling resistance. Then when you're ready, start to bring the hands forwards and sink down onto the elbows or towards the elbows. If you can't get down onto the elbows, it's fine, just stay on the hands. Notice the different sensations on the two sides.
And then again, experiment with rolling towards the outer right hip. So the body's facing a little bit more to the left. It's a very deep hip stretch. It tends to exaggerate the sense of imbalance between the hips. And again, you can choose to pick a static posture or to just gently move between that front and outside of the right hip. Just the last couple of breaths here. After breathing out one more time, bring the body back into that more upright position. And then gently make your way back into kneeling plank. And from there, lie down on your stomach. Rest the head on the hands. Take your elbows forward and take the armpits towards the mat. Maybe give the hips a little rock side to side. Then tuck your left toes under, pick up the left knee and bring your right foot under the top of the left knee. So you're like making like a figure 4 with the legs. Try to press the inner right hip to the floor. And once you've done that, you can just reach the left leg out. And to begin with, just stay lying flat. And see if you can relax wherever you're feeling tension here so that the inner right thigh and inner right hip are gently sinking down towards the mat. Try to breathe deeply to the belly. So by now your breath should be much softer than what it was at the start of the practice. And either stay just lying down or lift up just onto your elbows. And take a little forearm cobra here. Try to relax the front of the left hip and into the left side of the stomach. Or anywhere else where you're feeling there's a strong sensation. Maintain your inner focus. Let go of all the effort you don't need. Just the last couple of breaths here. And after exhaling one more time, just gently release the right leg. And once more lie down and have a little rest. Try taking the elbows further forward, the armpits softening down a little bit more. It's actually a shoulder stretch here. And now tuck your right toes under. Pick up the right knee and bring the left leg just above the right knee, making that figure 4 position on the opposite side. Then reach out into the right toes and just rest with the body flat to the floor. And try to relax the inner left hip, inner left groin. Try not to be a slave to the mind. Whenever it wanders off, choose to ignore the irrelevant thoughts and just come back to the sensations of body and the rhythm of breath. And when you're ready, lift up onto your elbows. And again, note how different the two sides of the body feel. Try to find what it is that you don't need. And feel the body relaxing a tiny bit further with every out breath. Just the last couple of breaths here. And after breathing out one more time, just release the left leg, stretch it out, and lower your body all the way down. And again, just rest. Remember to turn the head to alternating sides. And after breathing out one more time there, just gently roll over onto your back. Stretch your left leg out along the floor and hug your right knee gently into the body. Just keep your head on the mat. And for a couple of breaths, just gently hug that leg in without any sense of real force, just the pressure of the arms really pulling the leg in towards the body. And then using a strap or belt if you need, take hold of the right foot. So if you don't need a strap, hold the outer right foot near the little toe. But if you need to use a strap around the foot, that's fine. And start to work towards straightening the right leg. Try to keep the left leg down, so you can rest the left hand gently on the left thigh. Make sure the left calf is still in contact with the mat. Focus on relaxing the back of the right leg. Be conscious of keeping the right shoulder away from the ear. Just take a last couple of breaths here. Soften somewhere as you breathe out one more time. And then gently release the right leg down. And with the right leg stretched out, bring the left knee in towards the body. Remember, these first couple of breaths, you're really just letting the weight of the arms pull the leg in, and just reach out gently to the right foot. When you feel ready to do so, take hold of the left foot. So again, use a strap if you need. But if you're comfortable, hold the outer edge of the foot near the little toe. Keep your head on the mat and use your right hand just to help gently anchor the right leg. Make sure the right calf stays in contact with the mat. And notice how different the two sides feel, not just in the intensity of the posture, but the location of where you feel the body is restricted. Use the effort that's required to keep the left leg straight. But try not to use any more than that. As we near the end of our practice, your breath should be very, very quiet, barely needing to breathe at all. You should be able to effortlessly pause perhaps between breaths. And just take a last breath or two here. Soften a little bit further. And after your next calm exhalation, just release the left leg down along the mat. And rest for a couple of breaths. Now moving into a twist, keep the right leg stretched out. Move your hips to the left edge of your mat and then hook your left foot behind your knee. Roll over so that you can bring the left knee to the floor and hold your knee down with the right hand. Then take your head back to the mat and reach diagonally up and back into the left hand. It doesn't matter if you can't get your left hand to the floor. Try to keep the left knee down as a sort of fixed reference point. And let the body gently unravel diagonally as you soften into this posture. Try to keep a sense of very gently reaching out to the left fingers. And then focus on softening where the body is resisting. Maybe it's in the outer left hip. Maybe it's a twist somewhere through the mid or lower back. Maybe it's in the front of the left shoulder or down through the bicep. Just try to let go, to soften. Try to maintain a steady focus on the posture and the breath. Holding here just for a few more breaths. It's not uncommon for the left hand to tingle a little bit. should go very quickly after we come out of the posture. Exhale one more time here. And after breathing out, just gently release out of your twist. And bring the body back to the center of the mat. Stretch the left leg out. And then do the same on the other side. So pick up your hips and take them to the right edge of your mat. Then roll over onto your left side so you can bring the right knee down. Hold the knee down with the left hand and then reach diagonally back into the right, keeping your head on the mat. Again, notice the two sides are not the same. But just work with what is. Soften into each of those points of resistance. Some length out into the right hand, but not forceful. And let gravity and the posture gently do the work for you. Just the last couple of breaths here. And after exhaling one more time, two more if you feel like it, just gently once more unravel the body. Come back to the center of the mat and stretch the right leg out. Then I want you to take your feet to the edges of your mat and let your knees drop together. Take your arms over the head and hold opposite elbows. You can take the feet a little wider if you'd like. You can turn the heels out a little wider if you'd like. But try to find a position where you can just let the legs rest and they're gently turning inwards. Hold here for one or two more breaths. And when you're ready, just swap your arms. Keep the legs as they are, but place the opposite elbow on top. Softening around the shoulders and the hips. Always the face relaxed. And after one or two more breaths, just stretch your legs out once more. And bring your arms down by your sides, coming into a short Shavasana.
So let the feet drop out to the sides, let the arms be away from the body so the shoulders can drop down. And now let go of all physical effort. The body should be comfortable, it's supported by the mat. So see how soft you can be. Let the body sink into the mat. The contact area getting bigger with every breath. Have a sense of the bones sinking towards the back of the body as all the muscles and connective tissue relax. Feel the breath becoming quieter. Again, recognizing now spontaneous pauses between breaths. So we're not consciously breathing, we're just allowing the breath to move. Again, completely effortless. But notice that even the breath rests and comes to stillness. Let the mind also rest in the silence between thoughts. And just keep coming back to that effortless stillness. Rest there for the last couple of minutes of the practice. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Shadike Sharanye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om So I want you to stay as you are for as long as you'd like. We've taken our practice to return from movement to stillness, so if you have the opportunity to remain in that effortless space, do so for a little longer. When you do decide to move, start by reconnecting with conscious breathing, and then slowly reawaken the body, starting with fingers and toes. But stay as long as you'd like. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you for sharing the practice with me and allowing me to share it with you. I'll see you next time.